Well, he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. Welcome back to the Rush Hour Podcast, the 15-minute podcast where we talk about various Yu-Gi-Oh topics. And today we are celebrating my friend, my king, the god of Edison format. We have Eric Shen, aka Sizzle, aka Sackface, aka whatever you want to call him, but make sure you put 3-time Edison champion in that too, because this guy just won YCS Orlando Ultimate Time Wizard, the first 2-time Ultimate Time Wizard winner. I am so happy for you. How do you feel?
It's surreal, right? The fact it's more surreal on the second part rather than the win. It's more surreal that I'm the first 2x Ultimate Time Wizard one.
You are by far now, I think, the best value turbo player in Edison format. Like, I don't think that is up for debate. You've won 3 in real life tournaments, that is just like so crazy to do. Like, it's actually really, really hard. It's hard to win once. It is hard to win one time.
It is.
To win multiple times in real life is extremely difficult. And then like the deck that you're playing is also one of the decks that I do think it takes a lot of skill to execute properly. And what I love about your win this time is that I got to see it up close. I saw you set Rhoda and set Heavy in the mirror match after you lost game 1 against that guy who was, he's playing Value Turbo. Shout out to him. I got to watch you play him from start to finish, from game 1 where he won to game 2 and 3 where you literally outplayed him. No offense, but like it was just straight up a masterclass in how skillful you are against someone who is he's basically like the average value player. Like the average value player is going to do the average value player thing, and you just did some stuff that I have never seen anyone else really do, and it was just crazy. It was literally a masterclass. I think that your win is well deserved. Obviously, I saw you were down on yourself a little bit about like, oh, I didn't play perfect, but like, who cares? No one plays perfect. Spoiler alert. Your favorite duelist is not perfect. There's no perfect player. Everyone is going to make a misplay, even when they win the entire tournament. I mean, the guy who got second, like he made a misplay in the finals. People make misplays all the time. I tell people like, do not focus so hard on like, oh, this person made a mistake and therefore they were just lucky. That's not how it works. Like, you still have to be good to get to that position. And going back to my famous quote of like, when someone wins an event, sure, they're most likely skilled, but they're definitely lucky. But I don't want people to take that as like, oh, well, luck is the only thing you need, because you're missing the first part of that. Is like, they're probably a skillful player. Most of the time, people don't just win a tournament by sacking the entire way through. They have to have more than that. And I got to watch you literally create wins out of nothing. So
yeah, you have to create your luck in a sense.
Yes.
I do think I get lucky, but like I will like acknowledge I always put myself in the spot to be lucky.
Exactly. And you know who really taught that to me when I was much younger, in my early 20s, when I was on ARG, was Billy Brick. Because Billy would be very lucky. And I remember one time I had said something about it and he was like, yeah, and that's kind of the point, is like to put myself in a position where I do have an out now. I have monster, like if I top deck Reborn here, I'll win this game that honestly I had no shot of winning. But if I draw Reborn right now, I'm going to win this duel. And he would play towards that and then draw the Reborn, and everyone would be like, holy shit, that's so lucky, that's so sacky. But it's like, yeah, I played this game to get to the point where if I drew this card, I literally would win. And even though it's only, let's say, a 2% chance, like it's still better than, obviously losing the game and having no chance at all. So playing to win as opposed to playing to not lose is a big deal, but none of that is the point. You are the champion again. Orlando is now called Ericville. Yeah. Like we're calling it Ericville
That's
now.
Funny. That's funny.
If they have another YCS in Orlando or another tournament in Orlando, I'm just already going to be like, all right, we're here to see Eric win again, because you have like, Silverman has this special power in Vegas. Silverman has won like YCS Vegas like 3 times in a row. I think he won it the first time with Gonna Finish That with his team, with like everyone was like really big. Yep. Literally.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, Gonna Finish That. Then they did Back for Seconds.
Yep.
And then he won the YCS Vegas Ultimate Time Wizard last year, the first one and the only one I think he's ever played in. Or maybe at the time it was.
Back for Seconds?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know he won this. I didn't know he won the second time.
What was your question? I'm sorry, I don't.
He won when he was on Back for Seconds?
Yes, Silverman won 2 main event YCSs.
Holy shit.
He had Gonna Finish That, then Back for Seconds.
That's crazy.
And then he won the Edison Ultimate Time Wizard at Vegas last year. First time playing an Ultimate Time Wizard. And that team, I don't know what the team name was. I would assume it was like Coming for Thirds or something like that. But but they weren't all big players.
Yeah,
Right. They didn't have
yeah.
the big energy. They were just like friends. Like Josh and Nishad are just friends. But there was a theme going with the main event ones. So he's won like Vegas. The point is he's won Vegas 3 times.
Yeah.
And so like when it comes to Vegas, if Silverman's in a tournament, just you're fighting for second. Like you're just fighting for second. I feel like we're now fighting for second when you're in Orlando.
I don't like, dude. Okay, so I need to stop being so down on myself about the misplays for sure. But it's crazy to me because now, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think my accolades at this point are the most crazy accolade of any Edison player.
It's not even up for debate. Like, what are we talking about?
But the thing is, there's so many people who are just as good, if not better than me, and they have like, some have no accolades even.
Yeah,
like
no accolades is crazy. Some people are just getting started.
Yup.
And oh, look at this. Your card is updated. I don't know if you noticed, but there's an extra line. There's an extra line. Yeah, I did that. I did that before we started. There is a new line added to the bottom of your card. And so now it says YCS Orlando Ultimate Time Wizard winner. That is a beautiful thing to see. But yes, to your point, for sure, I think also that your accolades are above and beyond like anyone else's personally. Other people, they can debate their grandmom or a mirror if they want. That's not really for you guys can have that, but like I personally also think the same thing. And as of right now, you're obviously player of the year. You know, we're going to see how 2025 turns out, but like right now you are player of the year for
the first tournament.
Yeah, for sure, player of the year. So and you're going to more events, so there's plenty of more time to really like push your lead even further. I think 2025 is going to be a great year for Yu-Gi-Oh. I can't wait to see what happens. But yeah, I am very happy that if someone had to win again, it was you. You're a good friend of mine. You also are the person that I really do feel like kind of like slapped me back into who I'm supposed to be, because I bring it up all the time, but like when I tried to play Dragon Turbo at Raleigh, that was just a huge mistake for someone of my skill level to be trying to essentially like cheese wins and not actually duel, which I'm good at. I'm good at the skillful part of Yu-Gi-Oh, like the technical play. So you were the guy who literally walked up to me and was just like, I love your podcast, I love your content. Why are you doing this? Why are you playing Dragon Turbo? You should be playing a real deck. And then literally
I was disappointed in you.
You were. And honestly, that helped me a lot. I think that it's important to have friends. At the time, we weren't even friends. You were just like a person that I met. But it's important to have people who are willing to be like brutally honest with you, because I did not forget that. And I went right into the tank and started playing hard and testing and all that stuff. And then the results were the results. So I attribute that a lot of that to you. And I think that I wanted to say this too. I know I'm like talking a lot here, but that's what you guys know. That's what I do. I love the energy between the Chicago and the Philly group that we have. It is like so organic, but it's also a beautiful thing to see constantly our friends in our circle just constantly doing well. And like basically every event, like I can't like the last 10 events have been like our group that we go out to eat at events, we like hang out, we check on each other in between rounds, we root for each other. Like it's literally been us for I can't think of an event where it wasn't the Philly and Chicago group kind of just doing well at something, right? Like
we always have one guy in there, for sure, like, at least one. And so I love that feeling of, you know, every time we go to dinner, we always have someone at the table who's like, we're rooting for you tomorrow to either win the whole thing or someone actually won the whole thing. So it's just like really, really cool. Yes, I love the energy. I've never had that, dude. Like every tournament you go to is like someone in your group is doing well, and then you eat dinner and then you're hyped for your boy every time. Everyone like spirit bombing you. That's so great.
I mean, Niagara, that was our first time ever topping together, and I remember the dinner we went to that night in Canada was super. I mean, the place wasn't anything like special, but it didn't even matter to me that it wasn't like, oh, a steakhouse or Fogo de Chao. It was just like a regular kind of like diner almost type of place, and we just had such a good time that night. The energy was great, everyone was talking, everyone was getting along. And then we had the same kind of thing happen after you won in Orlando, where we went to Fogo, which is a really nice restaurant, and it was like, I think it was like 14 of us or something at the table, and we just had an absolute fantastic time. I am not
used to that for Yu-Gi-Oh events. I'm used to going to like Wendy's, McDonald's.
Yeah, see, not me. I will say, and I brought this up to someone asked me about this. I think it was David. I said to him, this was a common thing back in the day when I used to travel to every event with ARG and like even with like just McCabe and Silverman and stuff. But we would go to Fogo often as part of the Yu-Gi-Oh event, or like go to a nice restaurant. Like I know in Chicago they have a place. What's it called? Is it Gordon's? It starts with a G. Gibson's. I think it's called Gibson Steakhouse Steakhouse in Chicago. It's like one of the top steakhouses in Chicago. We would go there when we go to Chicago. We would go to like whatever the main steakhouse is at the city that we're in for the YCS. We would go there as a part of the dinner the night before or the night of or whatever, or even post event to just celebrate and just have fun. And the tables would be like 20 people deep, and everyone just has like a little section where you're talking and sharing stories and shooting the shit and laughing together. And those nights are the most memorable to me. Like I could write a book on just how fun it was to have that. And now I'm experiencing that again, you know, in my 30s, and it feels great because I quit Yu-Gi-Oh for so long. You know, I stopped playing because modern Yu-Gi-Oh happened, and now being back and having the same experience, and it feels even better now. Like it just feels better.
Yeah, those dinners are like legitimately half the reason I go to these events.
Yeah,
like
they're crack.
I used to always leave like Sunday, like around dinner time, and now like no, I'm leaving Monday, like in the morning to make sure I get that Sunday dinner in.
Yeah, I do Friday to Monday for YCSs very often because I like to do Friday, get there early. I want you guys to start getting there early on Friday, by the way, because
we don't get there early at all.
Yeah, you guys like always get there like Friday night, and I'm like, damn it, I want to have a day with no pressure where we're just like chilling. But Friday, I like to get there Friday early, and then leave super early Monday. That way you have all of Sunday. You don't have to think about like, oh, if the tournament runs late, or if I enter the Attack of the Giant card and somehow it runs late or whatever, like if I'm going to make my flight. I just want to have that whole day to just do whatever I want. We want to go out to eat at 10 p.m. We can do it. And my flight is not until Monday morning. So that's typically how I prefer. But
yeah, the Giant card thing is definitely now you have to leave Monday.
You really do though.
Also, why do you not advertise you got top 8 at both Giant cards that have existed? That is so crazy, man.
I don't talk about the one in Orlando was actually stacked as fuck though, for no reason. The top 8 of Orlando's Attack of the Giant card on Sunday, it was me, James Ark, Oscar Zelaya, it was Andre Torres, who has 4 or 5 YCS main event wins. He's playing Edison now. He's playing GBs. So that was 4 people right there who just are like some of the best players, like just
straight up
and top. I was like, and so I said this. I think I said it to James Ark. I was like, the top 8 of this part of the event is actually just as crazy, if not crazier, than the Ultimate Time Wizard event. And I didn't notice it because James was like, is this the top 8? And I was like, oh yeah, this is the top 8. I didn't look to see like who was actually in it. And then when he started saying who was in it, I was like, yo, it is so stacked for top 8 all of a sudden. And yeah, I mean, God, it was such a good weekend. But yeah, I did get top 8 at that tournament, and I ended up losing to GBs. I played against the most GBs I ever played against in Orlando. I played against the GBs 3 times. Once in the main event, I beat it round 1. And I 2-0'd that guy, and he secutored me and dust shooted me immediately, and I still just like 2-0'd him. And then the second guy I played round 1. So I played GBs at the start of both tournaments. The Attack of the Giant card on Sunday, I played against GBs, and he went like Heavy Storm Cat, and he also lost 2-0. And then finally I played against Andres in top 8, and I just bricked and lost, and there was nothing special about it. And like our match was very pleasant. Like nothing weird happened. I just drew bad. Like he just cut my deck.
Yeah.
I drew really, really bad. And what's weird is I played like Maria Greed, and I just, I was like, okay, this can correct my hand. And I just drew worse. And I was like, I've never,
possible.
I said, yo, I've never seen this deck draw this bad. It was crazy, but it happens. Obviously, like it's not impossible, it's improbable, but it can happen. And yeah, so he won, and then he played X-Sabers was in top 4. So he played against X-Sabers, and he actually was able to take it down. Oh no, I'm sorry. The X-Saber guy beat him.
Right, X-Sabers was in the finals,
yeah,
right?
X-Sabers were in the finals. X-Saber guy beat him because in game 3, he could have taken it down if he used Jaizaris to only pop the Regigara, however you say that thing's name, the little reptile 1-star X-Saber. Yep. He chose to instead pop 2, and it was Starlight Road. And the crazy thing is, he thought about it when he summoned the Jaizaris. He was like staring at because it was really just Starlight Road, the monster, and there was a Phoenix Chain face up that's just there. It's a dead one. So he summoned Jaizaris, and the guy's like, summon's good. And then he thinks for literally, I want to say 30 seconds before taking an action. And eventually he just goes pop both. And that Starlight Road had been sitting there the entire time. And as soon as he did it, the guy flipped Starlight Road, he lost the game. And then I said to him, I was like, why'd you target 2? Like you knew it was Starlight Road. And he was like, I don't know. He said, I started thinking like if it's bottomless or whatever, if it's torrential, it should be the same. Like if it's bottomless torrential, it's the same result. And and he said he just kind of like psyched himself out. Now he doesn't really speak English. So it was hard to fully understand what he was saying, but I kind of got what he was saying is that basically he overthought the situation. Like he clearly knew that Starlight Road was a card because he didn't just go summon, pop. It was summon, stare, think, everybody around, because there's a crowd, right? It's top 4, everyone's watching. Summon, stare, think, pause, 30 seconds. Then he eventually made the decision to pop 2, and the guy was like, Starlight Road, draw, fall troll, summon full help knight, summon fall troll, kill you. And I was like, damn. But
that's bringing up one of my pet peeves. Some people, like especially some modern people, are like, man, Edison's so easy. Why do you guys take like 2-3 minutes a turn? You guys only have so many actions. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't like
they don't understand.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There are definitely decision points to be made. There's going to be a lot more decisions to be made coming soon. So yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. The format has changed again. I cannot believe we've been doing this Rush Hour podcast for like less than a year, and the format keeps changing. People say Edison solved. They've said oh, it's just birds and frogs, and like, bro, we just got 2 new decks, and they're both toxic as hell. The plant deck, the Gigavice. I call it Gigavice. I don't know what people are calling that.
I'm calling it Gigavice. Yeah,
I call it Gigavice. So the Gigavice deck is broken as hell. It actually was the most represented deck in top 8 of Orlando.
Probably the lowest representation out of any deck.
To be. It was only 3 people playing it. It literally had to be the least represented deck, but the most deck to convert in top 8. So it had a 66% conversion, so 2 out of 3, right? Insane. All the other decks were represented in top 8. Like you had Hero Frogs, you had Value, you had Blackwing. I think there was one of each of those. There was like Christia Sworn. So like it was basically you had Machina. It was a perfect motley of Edison. It was literally the motley crew of Edison with 2 new Gigavice decks in there. And then there's also the Fishborg Frog deck that won 2 tournaments already this year. The Italian tournament that was 200 players, Go Format Italia, that one, it was like Value versus that Frog deck in the finals. Everyone saw that, and that's kind of what got everyone scared going into Orlando, because the guy was just killing people on stream, and it wasn't really much of a pushback on it. It's like, yeah, he won through deck devi, he got Crow, and like still just was able to play through those things. And I was like, yeah, that's not okay, because you would think looking at the deck list like, oh, there's 17 cards to get deck devi, but like triple salvage, dupe lock after like you can just live.
You just need 1 salvage and it's over.
And so there's a lot of things that can go wrong against that deck, and so that deck was scary. That was the deck that I was the most focused on going into Orlando, and I typically
were you citing 3 Crow? Oh, you said you always cite 3 Crow.
I always cite 3 Crow because I kind of, this is something maybe we can make a separate video about this. I see the format from the future, honestly. I've always been this way, because I think that this is why I'm always so hard on certain decks, is because I know that in the ideal world, like unfortunately what Edison really will become eventually is not a pleasant thing, but we could save that for another thing. But I was citing 3 Crow, but I've been citing 3 Crow for well over a year, maybe even 2 years now. If you just go back to like my first top in Edison, I've been on triple Crow because I kind of just know, like, I know where it's going. And
you had the top player privilege info.
No, it's just like, you can see it though. It's right there in front of our face. Like you see what's happening. You see the need for cards like that. Unfortunately, like I liked when we honestly didn't have to side Crow. Crow was kind of a bad card. That only lasted for a little while.
I don't like Crow.
I don't like Crow as a card either, but I knew that like you do not want to play in a tournament without this card in your deck, and it's getting more and more to that point where you probably just have to, because there's too many absurd decks that if they are allowed to go unopposed, they're going to run over you. And I don't even know if Crow is enough.
I don't even think,
When I saw the Gigavice deck, honestly, so full disclosure, spoiler alert, we did Teach Me How to Cook last night with Marcus Carice, who got top 8 at Orlando. And in that video, I got to see just how ineffective a lot of things are against that deck. And it scares me because, it's just not, susceptible as people may think to side deck cards.
I don't think it really is. I think it just loses. I think the only check it really has though, it loses kind of to Christia Sworn GBs a little bit.
Yep. That's the combo deck problem. Is that those decks are always going to be problematic for it. But what I found out, I didn't know this. I don't know. I guess I just don't read cards like every other Yu-Gi-Oh player, but I didn't know that Gigaplant doesn't target.
It's like Red MD.
It's like Red Med. So it literally does not target. So when you activate it, and you like, if they have Crow, it doesn't actually do anything because he just puts 2 Lone Fires in the grave and he goes activate effect, and they go Crow a Lone Fire. You're like, bring back the other one. And they're like, wait, what? It's like, that doesn't target. So like, that's not even a good point of interaction right there. So you have to do it on a supervised, but at that point, it's just like so obnoxious.
It's hard. Yeah, it's very tight.
Yeah, and then you're down cards. You're minusing yourself, and this is not a format where you gain card advantage easy. The Edison does not just like, it's not like Modern where, okay, you can hand trap 4 times and then have a 1 card starter and do a full combo. It's not like that. If you go down on cards against like Frogs, or the Gigaplant deck and you don't break the board, you lose the game on the spot. You just lose.
Yup.
You can't just leave Power Tool there.
I hate it.
You can't leave Gigaplant there. Like, so yeah, I mean, you can't leave like Substitute there. It's just like the same. It's so many of these types of things.
Speaking of card advantage, dude, when you beat me game 2, that I have never felt so outplayed in my life.
Like there's just nothing you could do.
But you made it like you played it so well. And like every trade I lost, I was like, dang it, he's playing right, he's not playing anything, he's playing it so good. I'm like, I hate it here.
I was a little annoyed that game because I knew it was over so early, but obviously we have to play through the steps. But because I primarily play test against value a lot, I'm like, it's kind of like in chess when a master can like checkmate and just play out the next like 7 turns.
Yeah.
They already know like this game is going to conclude this way, and there's not a single thing that can change the outcome of it. So I'm like, as we're playing, you're defending yourself, but you're also, like you said, losing every single trade. And I can kind of tell you don't have a great hand.
I don't have anything. Yeah,
like it's not much is going on. I'm like, if he does ever draw into like something sacky, I have the out for that too. Like I'm sitting here holding like brain control and shit like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there the whole time, just like with Stratos and like Alias and all like Treeborn's coming back. Yeah, everything is like I have Ocean on the field and I'm waiting for him to resolve. So I'm just like, this game is going really, really my way. And then game 3, the problem is that we were going into time and like I was nervous that time would matter, and I hate for time to matter, so I played it a little bit faster than I normally would. And I ran into a Gores, but I knew you had Gores obviously because you fucking passed your first turn. It's like it's not like, oh, I just ran into a Gores. Like, no, I know you had Gores, but then I also had my own Gores, so it was like a super awkward game 3, and I had to choose what I lose to, and I was like, I choose this way, and then you had the oppression for the substitute. I was like, okay. And weirdly enough, it was one of those games where like, I don't know this at the time, but like if I just tribute it for Caius is going to walk and then the game just continues from there. But like, obviously I don't know that. I could just as easily tribute Caius into a Solemn Judgment or a Pulling the Rug, or like you just have a simple out to it, like a Gale or something. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of cards that's out to Caius. So our game was fine. Game 1, Dust Shoot, broken card.
Broken card.
It was unbelievable. It didn't kill me. The game went literally like 10 more turns, but what it did was it just gave you information on heavy Gores, and I was like, that is so rough for me.
So annoying, yeah.
But what was so crazy to me is that game 1, despite getting Dust Shoot at turn 1 and the game going literally 10 turns late until it ended, what was cool was that there was a point where I had to draw Miracle Fusion. And if I drew Miracle Fusion, I was going to win the game. I drew Unifrog instead. And I was like, damn it. I was so close to stealing game 1 because like you had committed everything to the field, not battle fadered. And I was like, all right, here, like if I just draw Miracle Fusion right here, all of a sudden, none of this matters. And
that's why I was saying like, don't do it to me. You're like, don't do what? I'm like, you know what?
Yeah. Cause it could just, but I mean, that's the matchup. Sometimes you just have to be like, they don't have it. And if they do have it, I was going to lose anyway, right? The 0 was going to come down anyway, right? Like, it's not like if you held back a little bit of your cards or something and didn't go for a big push to kill me.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Then like, yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. Like the 0 is a problem no matter how you look at it. So you did the right thing. You played so well, especially when it counted at the end of the day. Like I think you beat the hard people. Like you beat Marcus, you beat me.
Yeah.
You beat the hard people. You played against Televisual. You guys had a good match. And so the finals, like sure, there were definitely some things in the finals, but again, like no one plays perfectly. And then your opponent was also throwing. So it kind of, to me, it kind of was like,
yeah,
as long as it would have been bad if he was just on it, if he was super locked in
and I still won it.
Yeah, that would have been so bad. But like, bro, he tried to Bramillo pop your face down monster. So I was when people were like, they're like, oh, Eric just misplayed. I'm like, yeah, but the guy tried to Bramillo pop his face down and popped his own Bramillo and lost. So I'm like, it's not like Eric is the only one in here. There are a lot of nerves in the finals, and no shade, but a lot of people will never ever know what it is like to play in the finals of a tournament. They'll just never know. They'll never know the pressure of playing in the finals, of playing for it all. Everything comes down to this one moment, this one game, whatever. A lot of people won't know, like you're playing through Swiss, and Swiss is its own thing, right? It's own mental stack because it's 9 rounds and it's like, okay, we're only in round 4, I have to win 5 more. Or if you're X1, you're like, I can't lose again. And all this, all the thoughts that go through Swiss.
Yeah.
Top Cut is a whole different animal because now you're playing for elimination games, and the closer you get to the trophy, the more nerves kick in, the more pressure kicks in. People are now surrounding you. There's a camera crew. Like, bro, it's intense. The energy's different. The energy's just different.
It really is. And top 8 to top 4, that transition is the scariest one to me because now you're on the cusp of, well, if you win one more, you're guaranteed a giant card, and if you lose 2 in a row, you get effing nothing.
Yes, it is very.
That's a scary one.
Yeah, you rather like weirdly, but you rather just lose in top 8.
Yep.
Someone who has gotten 4th at the very first Ultimate Time was the 9-round Nationals of 2023. I have experienced the worst place to get and the best place to get. I've gotten 1st, 3rd, and 4th. So I know it's just like, yeah, it's not always the most pleasant to get 4th, but the closer you get to the trophy, the more nerves kick in. And for sure, like that impacts your decision making. It also weirdly, it's like fog. I should like coin it, but there's some kind of Yugioh fog or Yugi fog that happens where even the most basic things you kind of just fumble with when you're playing in the finals of a tournament. Yeah,
growing up in an Asian household, I want to be a robot, but it's impossible.
Yeah, it's not, and that's not who you are. I've known you for a while now, and you're just like one of those people who is so kind. This is why I'm so happy for you winning. The format is in good hands. Because I'm telling you guys, Eric he's genuinely a nice person and like doesn't have any ulterior motives. He's not malicious. He's just like a really nice guy. Just plays the game, loves the game. I think it's important that, you know, the people who win and who are representatives of the format actually do care about the format and love the game. And you are all of those things. So to me, it's like you are a very worthy person to be at the top of the format.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Now we just need to stop the DGen Edison format from happening to save Edison.
I don't know how. I don't know how to stop it. That's for the whole community to figure out. I've already said in 2025, I'm taking a step back from competing as much because one, I will be streaming more tournaments, more of the major tournaments. That's one thing. The other thing is that I won't be traveling to as many tournaments because I'm taking a trip to Japan. So YCS Providence is now announced for like May, the first weekend of May. I will be in Japan at that time. So I will. Yeah, so
I'm kind of doing the same thing as you.
Oh, really?
For Texas, I will be in Mexico.
Yep, I'm most likely missing Houston. Like because I'm going to Japan. There's a high chance that I will not go to Houston. And like as of right now, I don't have anything booked. I don't plan to book anything. The flight will have to drop tremendously. Like things will have to really line up perfectly. But right now, I'm not going to Houston. So Vegas is my last event for a while because I won't be going to Houston. I won't be going to Providence. And I am going to RBET Chicago though, so I should probably register for that.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I was like gonna shameless plug it, but
go ahead, do it now.
Okay, so RBT Chicago, September 20th. It will cap. I guarantee you it will cap 256 players. The venue is really nice, but it isn't the biggest venue. So we have to cap it, and I will be head judging it. So if you're not sub to me, you're screwed. I'm going to rule against you. I'm going to check your phone first thing when I come over to the table.
Love that.
But yeah, I think it's going to be lit. It's at the venue where the Chicago Melee and Ultimate scene have a really good weekly, and the same production crew for Melee Every Day that does our Chicago monthly streaming will be doing. Well, he has all his equipment at that venue, so it's going to be hopefully an insane production. That's awesome. I don't think you want to miss it. It's going to be stacked.
Yeah, I intend to go to that one. It's in September, right?
Yes, September 20th.
That's so good for me because I don't have anything on the docket or planned for that month at all right now. So that means I have no excuse. Like there's nothing that I'm like, oh man, September is like last September, my friend got married and I was a groomsman. So, and it was like September 28th or something, whatever weekend. So that could have been a weird conflict, right? Because if I'm in a wedding, I have to go. But in this case, right now, there's nothing booked. So if somebody tries to book me for anything September, I'm just like, nope, I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I'm going to Chicago. I've already made plans. Chicago is one of my favorite cities. The food is amazing. Like I have fond memories of Chicago. 2013 was Dragon Ruler format. It's one of my favorite formats. When people ask me like, what are your favorite formats? That's one of them, Dragon Rulers. And it's because
with babies?
With the babies.
Okay.
But only because I played at Nationals and I went like 10-1 or something. I finished like 11th in Swiss after like 11 or 12 rounds. I forget how many it was because it was one of the big Nationals though, 2013. Spellbook Dragon Ruler format, really just Dragon Ruler format. So I have fond memories of Chicago. It was at the Navy Pier though.
Yeah.
It was at the Navy Pier and like, yeah, I just felt I played so many mirror matches and I won every single one. I think I only lost to, I forget what it was. It was like a weird deck though. It was like Mermails. I think I either lost to Mermail, I got like OTK twice, or I lost to Evil Swarm or something like that. But
I played Mermails at Nationals because I was poor, but dude, Abyss Guy was kind of solos.
He's really good. He's really good.
I went like 4-0 against Dragon Ruler, but lost to Dark World and like some Dragoon deck. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it just don't let it be you, right? But I have fond memories of Chicago, And so, yeah, I'm excited to go back for another Yu-Gi-Oh event. Has there been a YCS Chicago? When's the last time we had a YCS Chicago?
No, and it's been a while. I think it was Nats that one time it was hosted at Chicago, like a few years back.
I'm thinking about it. Like, when was? Yeah, I don't remember the last time
there was like a Nats in 2021, 22 or something. I don't know.
Oh, like pandemic time.
I've heard, and this is just a rumor, so don't take this or take this with a grain of salt, but I've heard the venue fees at like Rosemont and like the places they normally want to do it have just skyrocketed. So that's what I've heard, at least.
Yeah,
venue fees are too high.
Philly's the same way, where the venue fee to book Philly, because where the Philadelphia Convention Center is, the area is cracked. It's the Reading Terminal across the street, and there's just a lot of like Philly lifestyle stuff there. It's not some of these venues we go to, and the immediate surrounding area is nothing, right? If you've ever been to Philadelphia for a tournament, and at the convention center specifically, the surrounding area is the heart of Philly, where you want to be for food and fun.
That's awesome.
So like the convention center is probably just charging out the wazoo, because they know that this area happens to also be the best place to be in Philly anyway. Right? So that's kind of the difference. And the Navy Pier was crack in 2013. I just remember it was like a carnival. It's like a fucking carnival. Oh, it was so good.
Dude, they have open drinking there now. It's like Vegas. You just walk around drinking. It's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know if they'll ever do that one again.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. That's actually kind of like a bad thing in theory, because you get players and drinking. But I mean, I'm going to Vegas next month, and like Vegas also just has, at least on the Strip, you could just walk up and down the street with Fat Tuesdays, a big ass thing of like.
It's great.
It is great. I love it. We gotta have a drink when we get to Vegas. When are you getting to Vegas?
Whenever you're gonna get Vegas this time. I'm going early this time. F it.
I'm doing, my flight's already booked. It's Thursday to Monday, so I'll be there on Thursday because I like to have like just.
Are you on the Strip?
Yes. Oh, I haven't booked the hotel yet. That's the one thing. I don't know where I'm staying, because Vegas is a team event, and I kind of want to see like who I'm going to be teaming with. Ideally, we will probably stay together, is what I think in my head. That makes sense to me.
Oh, with your team.
Yeah, like you probably want to stay like with your team or close to your team or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't booked the room yet. I'm waiting for them to announce. One, they need to announce the formats. Then everyone can start putting together their super teams. Then I want to book my lodging, but my flights are already booked. I'm already like, this is when I'm flying. This is what's happening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll send you my itinerary and stuff.
Yeah.
So you'll have it. I might have got that wrong. I might be there Friday morning to Monday.
Yeah. Early Friday, late Thursday, right?
Yeah, it might be something like that. I forget. I have to look at because I booked this flight over a month ago now. But yeah, I haven't booked anything for Houston. I don't think I'm going to that one, just because again, I'm going to Japan, and I feel like I'm already just traveling so much again. Like I traveled so much last year, and I'm just continuing the trend. Also, didn't you guys say you're going to Japan at some point?
Yeah, Chef Taku definitely is. Me and Chai are not 100% confirmed yet, so we got to figure that out. Yeah. But yeah, I heard this is like I feel like they always say this though, that it's always like the best year to go to Japan, but I heard this time is actually legit the best year.
Oh, really? I went in 2023, and just from a currency conversion standpoint, it was the best at the time that I went, and apparently it's gotten better. I went September 2023, right? So I went September 2023, and they said it was the best then, and now I'm going May 2025, and they're saying it's the best again. And I'm just like, okay, what? Like, it was great when I went. It was the best trip of my life. I'm going back so soon because like it hasn't even been 2 years yet. I'm already returning. Love the place. Yeah. You need to go.
It's optimal. It's optimal.
It is optimal. You need to go because treat yourself. Like you deserve this trip. I think that it will be very, like, as a person who loves the culture, I'm looking at your room, like everything behind you is just Japanese. Like literally everything behind you. I haven't seen a single thing that's not. So
yeah, I keep the F out on Akihabara.
Yeah. You're gonna have such a good time. But yeah, okay. We've been. This is the longest episode ever, which makes sense. It's a win, right? Like it's a win for the Rush Hour podcast. It's a win for Sizzle. It's a win for Sackface. A win for Eric Shen. I'm very happy, guys. So please leave nice comments. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is always tagged in the title of the video. If you click on his name, it'll take you right to his channel. Give him subs. He deserves at least 1,000 subs for this win.
Calm down.
When I won, I got 1,000 subs. Like no cap.
I will say, I think since I've won, I've only gotten like 50. I'm like,
well,
this kind of sucks.
Hold on, it's the beginning. It's literally been it's been like 3 days, bro.
Yeah, true.
Give it time. Let it work. This podcast will come out. Let it cook. Let it stew. But Sizzle deserves 1,000 subs. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is put out more content this year, because people want to hear from the best. And right now, There's no question you are the best. So you should put out more content. And I think your niche is educational content. I think you're very good at that. You're not like, I'm a dueling book person. Like I do a lot of dueling book. You're not really into dueling book, and that's totally fine. We don't need another person doing dueling book content anyway, right? So your content though, where you tell people how to correctly attack into gores or how to play value or do these lines a certain way or whatever, that stuff is very helpful. And a lot of people ask these questions to me, and I always want to just direct them to your channel because you already have a lot of these videos for them. They might obscure rulings and Edison format, all that type of stuff. You want educational content, go to Sizzle's channel. So I think that if you lean more into that, like they will come.
Yeah,
but yeah, you deserve it.
I have some videos in the works. I will be milking this win as much as I can.
You absolutely should, because who knows the next? I mean, I can't really say that when you've won 3 stunts, but who knows the next time? It's hard to win.
Know.
I keep telling
this
people,
could be the last one.
It is hard to win once. Winning 3 times is fucking crazy. Like, I played main Yu-Gi-Oh! After 2010, winning Atlanta. I played for like 6 years and didn't win again. So like, it's really, really difficult to win more than once, and you've done it multiple times. So yeah, congrats again, man.
Thank you, man. Coming from you, that means a lot. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you. You are like one of my favorite people, because I've been around the most toxic people and I've been around genuine people as well, and you are literally on the side of one of the most genuine people I've met. So I just want to make sure that like I return the energy. Yeah, and we just have a really positive group. Our group is very, very positive, very nice. We're the Kumbaya squad for sure. Like, we don't
really is. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there's no like drama or anything. Everyone's just like, you better win, you better win.
We were all rooting for Marcus Hayden this past weekend. Everyone was like, Marcus, and he finally did it. He finally got his top, and he also was #1 in Swiss, which was like, damn. Not only did he get his top, but he like dominated Swiss,
undefeated. Yeah, it's crazy.
Undefeated. Yeah, literally didn't take an L in Swiss, which is great. Love that for him, and I know that he's also going to be a threat going forward, which I called that so long ago. I was like, when Marcus starts, it's going to be a problem. He just has to warm up. And then what ended up happening is both Marcuses got their first top this weekend. So I was like, here we go. Now it's the what do you call it? Doppelgangers, the fucking double Marcus. So
funny story about the Marcus. When we were lining up for top 8, they wanted us in order, and there was 2 Marcuses. So the guy that was calling up the names is like, Marcus, and then they're like, which Marcus? He's like, oh, Marcus 1. So, and then the other
Marcus 1.
Marcus 1. So then Marcus curiously says Marcus 2. So then so a little. And then when Marcus gets his prize and gets 3rd, and he's like, I was right. You are Marcus 1.
Right. That is so shady. Not the judge being shady.
So funny.
Marcus 1 and Marcus 2. But yeah, I'm happy for everything that happened. Orlando was a great trip. Really love that place. I mean, how could it be bad with Disney or Universal Studios in the same city? Amazing food, culture, all that good stuff. But I think we've done the most yapping we've ever done. I want to end this one here because this is becoming an actual like one of my podcasts. And I put out this like 2 hours. Yeah, this is 40 minutes. So thank you again, Sizzle. We will do more episodes of Rush Hour, of course, this year. So much to talk about. I do want to spend an episode just talking about the way the format is going right now, or where it's going.
Yeah, for sure.
We could do a whole episode on that. And just, if you guys have suggestions of what you want to hear us yap about, please leave it in the comment section. Like, if you want to hear me and Sizzle talk about a topic, we can talk about basically anything, honestly. If there's some like hypothetical or abstract thing, or you want to talk about what it is, like, you know, we topping events and being consistent at doing that, or winning events, stuff like that. Like, if you want to talk about that type of stuff or hear us talk about it, we can do that as well. It doesn't just have to be like talk about DDV as a card, or, you know, whatever. It could be anything. It could be, So anyway, I'm gonna end it here, guys. We will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you.